This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 422, How to Make $1 Million with Advice from Actual Millionaires, part 2 by Ramit, Sethi of IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. And I am Dan, your host. I'm here every weekday reading to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And I always like to remind you that you can share your ideas with us. If you have some ideas for a topic you'd like to hear me cover here on the show, come visit oldpodcast.com and share those ideas with us. Now, today's post is a continuation from yesterday, so if you're new here, I would definitely recommend listening to yesterday's episode first. That would be episode 421. We'll get through about half the article today and then continue this post tomorrow and again on Thursday. And before we get into it, to get some free, easy-to-use financial spreadsheets as well as a video tutorial, and to hear from us once a week with life tips, quotes, and more, come join our mailing list. You'll also be entered into book raffles every month as well. So for all that, all you have to do is join. And to do that, you simply enter your email address over at oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com. Now let's get right to part 2 of this post as we optimize your life. How to Make $1 Million with Advice from Actual Millionaires, part 2 by Ramit, Sethi of IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. Paying off your credit card debt is one of the most important investments you can make into your rich life. I've written about how to get out of debt before, but I'll give you a breakdown of the exact same system in my book that has helped thousands of readers finally escape their debt. If you want a more detailed look at the system, I highly suggest you read my article on IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com about how to crush debt. For now, here's a brief overview. 1. Find the exact amount you owe. You're probably thinking, well, duh, of course you should know how much debt you have. But it's actually way harder than you think. In fact, a study found that many don't actually know how much debt they owe. It makes complete sense, too. Humans are sensitive creatures who would rather run from their problems than tackle them head on. However, this just leads you to blindly paying the minimum payment instead of actually owning your debt. Only then can you start a good strategy to get rid of it. Number 2, pay off the highest interest rate first. Not all debt is made the same. That's why you want to start paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first. For example, imagine you have $10,000 in student loans that have a 6.8% interest rate and a 10-year repayment period. You could pay the minimum of $115 a month, but if you spent another $100 more each month, you could save thousands of dollars. The minimum will leave you saddled with more debt. Even $20 a month more helps you save a lot of money. 3, don't be tempted. If you want to get rid of your debt for good, you can't keep adding to it. That's why you need to stop yourself from taking on more, at least until you've gotten rid of your existing debt. So do yourself a favor and get rid of your credit cards, at least until you're out of debt. Give them to a friend or a family member to hold on to. If you have a safety deposit box, put them in there for a while. Anything works as long as your cards are out of sight and out of mind. 4, negotiate a lower interest rate. Did you know that you can actually save over $1,000 in a single phone call with your credit card company? Using simple negotiation systems, you can lower your credit card's APR and put that money back in your pocket. For the exact scripts that you can use during your negotiations, be sure to check out my full article on eliminating debt. 5, decide how you're going to pay your debt. There are a number of ways you can approach this. You can use the money you got from step 4 and put it towards chipping away at what you owe. You can also tap into hidden income to free up some money. If you're really enterprising, though, you can start earning more money. I'll explain that in a little bit. 6, step 1, save money for when you need it most. My husband and I were really good about saving money, Shannon says. We created a 6-month emergency fund that allowed us to take a small step back financially when I quit my job. But because we saved early, it gave us a lot of freedom to invest and earn. By saving money, she gave herself the freedom to earn more money. That's why it's important to set savings goals. Shannon continues, if we didn't have our savings fund as a safety net, it would have been much more difficult to start our business. To find out how much you need in your emergency savings fund, you simply have to take into account 3 to 6 months worth of utility bills like internet, water, electricity, etc., rent, car and home payments, and food and groceries. Basically, any living expense that you have should be accounted for. You should also start an account exclusively for your emergency savings fund. Most banks allow you to create a sub-savings account along with your normal savings account. You can even name them too. So create one for your emergency fund. And you can start putting money into the account through my favorite system, automating your personal finances. The process only takes 1 to 2 hours at the most, but once you set it up, you don't have to worry about it again, and it'll save you thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Step 2. Invest in your future. Investing your money is the best way to guarantee you become a millionaire. In fact, I promise you, if you follow the systems below, you will eventually become rich. Shannon knows that too. My husband and I have been putting 10 to 15% of our earnings into our retirement accounts for a while now, she says. We also have a 529 plan for each of our kids. When it comes to accounts for retirement, you have two options, a 401k or a Roth IRA. These are retirement accounts, and that means you'll be able to accrue gains with big tax advantages with one caveat. You promise to save and invest long term. That means you can buy and sell shares of almost anything as often as you want, as long as you leave the money in your account until you get near retirement age. Let's take a look at each one, and we'll do that in tomorrow's episode. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled How to Make $1 Million with Advice from Actual Millionaires by Ramit, Sethi of IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. And once again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, if you want some free financial spreadsheets from us, including one that shows you when you can retire, come join our mailing list at oldpodcast.com. Not only will you get the spreadsheets and a video tutorial as well, but you'll also be entered to win books from us every month. Again, you can join for free and get all of that at oldpodcast.com. And that's it for today. Thanks so much for listening. As always, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in tomorrow's show where we'll continue this 4-part post. That's where your optimal life awaits.